Toya, Toya, Toya. I guess this is just the kind of season we're going to have. It's going to be you and I duking it out this season. Guess you want to fill in for Mariah, I guess. I don't know. It's just ridiculous. I'm about so sick of you, Toya, already. And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I'm going up on my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What, Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Married to Medicine. This is season 6, episode 7. Toya is about driving me nuts. She is being, for lack of better words, a rotten bitch. Period. I don't even know no nicer way to say it. She is just being ridiculous. You're on the island all by yourself and you look crazy. But anyway, we'll get into it. Contessa pulls through her surgery. Did it with flying colors. She's Contessa's tough. And the first thing she said, I want to see my kids, honey. And it was just good to see her. Dr. Scotty seemed so much more at ease. Child. And then that's one thing that we did figure out, that she actually, because I was worried about this. I was worried about her transition period after she starts to heal, and the fact of not having her breasts and actually going through, having breasts to not having breasts, and having to deal with that, and what was she going to do, and how was that actually going to affect her. But she actually, medicine, the way medicine works nowadays, she did everything all at one time. So she had implants. She had her actual breast tissue removed, and she had implants actually put in, all in one whop. So that's, she was saying, it's very painful and this kind of thing. And naturally it was going to be painful all together. But that the healing, along with the cosmetic portion of it, I'm sure heightened the pain and the difficulty in the healing. But hell, if you got to do it, I think I'd rather go through it one time and be done with it than go back down there fooling around again. You know what I mean? Don't keep opening me up. So, I think that's definitely going to help. The only thing now she'll have to do is deal with what her scar, whatever her scar is, and literally deal with that and learn to live with that, as opposed to going through all of the other stuff that women have had to go through over the years when they've had mastectomies done. So that was cool. That was cool. And that was just a question. I didn't even put it out here, on my reviews, but that was a question that was kind of lurking in the back of my head. So kind of happy for that. That's one less thing that she has to really worry about. So good for you, Dr. Contessa. Then we actually seen Heavenly and Damon. Wasn't that awkward? It was such an awkward scene. Like, she came home, he didn't seem like he was all that happy to see her. Like, oh fuck, you back? Okay. And she's just talking, and it was awkward. He didn't look like he wanted to talk. He didn't look like he wanted to be bothered. I was like, child, that Dr. Damon's different. He's different. He seems like a loner, and he just didn't seem like he was really feeling her right now. Like, girl, go somewhere and sit down. I just laughed at her. Anyway, Dr. Jackie and Curtis. Curtis is sick. Did you see that? I don't know if Curtis is coming down with something, but he seemed throughout the program, as we saw, because Jackie asked him what was wrong with him, and I think he was coughing and stuff, like he was having some sinus situations. But then later on in the program, when they went to a party over at Dr. Jarrett's house, Curtis looked like he was sick. Like maybe he had like coming down with a flu or something like that. I was like, I hope Curtis ain't nothing really going on. Or, I hope we're not seeing something going on. I hope it's like just a 24-hour bug or something. He's just gonna kick off. But he did. He looked sick to me. at the party. Did any of you notice that? Y'all know I don't even do Curtis all like that. But he looked sick to me. He looked flushed and he looked a little clammy. You know what I mean? And I was like, what's going on with Curtis? But whatever. Leave it in the comments. Let me know, did y'all notice that Curtis looked like he was actually coming down with a little something, or he wasn't feeling the best. Yeah, I can't stand him, but I don't want him sick. You know what I mean? I don't want nothing to happen to him. Um, and they did cover that Dr. Jackie and Curtis are actually looking for a new house. They're looking for a new house. I said, okay, Jackie. All right. I see you. Next thing we see Simone and Cecil. And the two of them were sitting down, and then Michael's home. And Miles is home, after for a break. And Michael's there. They were all at the house. And the two of them was getting ready to get, well, it was that damn Simone was starting it. She was starting that about keeping the house clean, and just she was basically fussing about the fact that they were getting ready to move all back into the one house. And she really doesn't seem happy that they're all going to be back at the one house. And it was funny as hell to me because it was getting started at, and then Michael let them both have it. And the both of them were sitting on screen looking like fucking idiots when he was given, okay, so yeah, you said what you had to say. You said what you had to say. Then he hit their ass with the Kaya and was like, because ain't neither one of y'all saying shit. Because you ain't talking about nothing, bitch. Next caller. I was cracking up. I was like, he told y'all just right. Y'all sound ridiculous. Y'all ain't saying shit. You just want to argue for the sake of arguing. Simone, shut your motherfucking ass up. Just want to argue. You just picking, bitch. Picking. You gonna keep picking till you run that man out the goddamn door. Crazy ass. I don't know what's wrong with Simone. I have no idea. I don't know what your problem is, girl. You better stop it. Anyway, Mariah and Dr. Jarrett go over to visit Contessa. They went over to see how she was doing. And in that visit, Mariah actually admitted to actually having a breast lift. And I was like, there you go again, Mariah, being very transparent. Such a good look. You know what I mean? Such a good look. Brave to be telling things like that you would have never had to divulge that. So again, another feather in the cap of Mariah. Yeah. That Dr. Jarrett, she's new. Sharp, 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 sharp. Really sharp, built really nice, very stylish. She's a doctor, and her husband's a doctor as well. Very stylish. I can see her fitting into the show very easily and fitting in with the ladies. And she's a blonde bombshell, baby. She has her hair is blonde and she wears it natural, and it's like a whole naturally curly, really sharp, and she's really, really light in the light blondes. It looks so sharp on her. I was like, I think I like her. I like her demeanor, and she seems like a lot of fun. Like I want to see more of her. I want to see more of her. I want them to bring Janice back because y'all know I love Janice. Janice was my girl. Janice was someone, they look like they both same kind of thing. And Dr. Jarrett seems like even more fun than Janice. Janice was very no nonsense, and I think that's why I like Janice, because Janice was sharp as a motherfucker, and she was very no nonsense. Like, don't come over here with no bullshit, But Dr. Jarrett looked like she could get down with the shits, but she would bring some party to the show. Like, she would be able to party with the likes of Toya and also shut Toya down all in the same breath and don't even bust a sweat. My kind of shit. So definitely would like to see more of Dr. Jarrett and Dr. Will, which is her husband. They had a party later on in the show. Gorgeous, gorgeous house. Very, it was a very non-overdone house. It was just a nice ass house. And I see they had one daughter. And she said that they said a picture of the daughter, said the daughter was only like 8 years old. And it was just a real humble, nice house. And I know because they're both two doctors. She's a dentist and he is, I can't remember what she said he was. But I think definitely if they wanted a house like with Toya and Eugene is doing, they could very easily do it. But her house was just nice. It was like a nice, reasonable house for their family. Nice. Yeah, I want to see more of them. Um, then this was something really interesting. We'll go back to Dr. Jarrett and Dr. Will's housewarming party. But something really shocked me to see Quad and her mom and her Aunt Bev. So I'm sitting there, and she's sitting there and she's talking to them. She has literally finally decided to move out of the house. She's gone. She's left the house, and she's going ahead doing what she has to do. Now, what I did peep, I was laughing. Quad's mom was quiet, quiet. She ain't said nothing. She ain't said a thing. She sat there at the little lunch, and she was sitting there and just nodding her head and going on. Quad's Aunt Bev was doing more of the talking. So I'm sitting there and I'm laughing and I'm looking at him. And of course, I'm looking at Quad. And of course, Quad looks definitely like she fits right in, like she would be a girl that came from that family of women. And, but this is what I gathered about Quad's mother, honey. Quad's mother, for me, because Quad said that she made the statement that she had been talking to her mother. And her and Gregory had a real bad argument. And then she had spoke to her mother and told her mother, you know what, why am I even here? And that's when she made the choice to get up and get out and went on and got her own place and all that. And then shortly after that, her mother showed up, and this is what I got. Now, this is just my thing. They didn't say this on the show. This is just my thing. And it was like her mother moved the way my mother moves. And I felt like Qua's mother didn't have a whole lot to say on the show because she was there for a specific purpose. She came to look her baby in the face. She came to look at her baby. Not no fucking FaceTime shit. Not no shit on one of these phones. She came to look her baby in the face to see what was going on and see how she was. And then after she seen her in her face, in her live living color, then she was satisfied. And then she ain't had a motherfucking thing to say after that. It was what it was. Okay, I'll film a scene with you, but bitch, I ain't got really nothing to say. I came down here to look you in your face. Now that I didn't look you in your face, I'm gonna fuck on back to Memphis. That's the vibe I got from Quad's mom. I don't see I didn't see from Quad's mom the heightened piece of Quad with the screaming and the yelling and the I can't believe you did that and don't throw no drink on me and all that. No, I didn't see that from Quad's mom. I see Quad's mom like really Memphis for real, like she about that life. She ain't really got no whole bunch of talking to do. That's what I saw. I saw a quiet storm sitting on the other end of that table. The way that Lucy jumped up real fast and bust Toya in her motherfucking head with that purse, season one. Yeah, but Lucy's this too. Lucy do all that talking, but when the shit start going down, when they got the swinging, Lucy ain't saying shit. She bust Toya in her motherfucking head. It wasn't like, bitch, one of us fight, we all fight, bitch. Bow! She bust the shit out of Toya. That's what I saw, and that's what I saw from Qua's mom on the end of that table. Like she was about that life. Now, Aunt Bev is a little more chatty, that type of lady. I saw that in her. She was the one that was doing a lot of the talking and the consoling and you know, she was more vocal with it. Though she looked like she might slide her motherfucking wig back and get the swinging too if shit don't go right. And she sure told her, I'm going to always be here for you and checking on you and seeing what's going on. So I said, yeah, Aunt Bev looked like she'll slide her motherfucking legs back and get the swinging too. So I just kind of laughed and with them, I enjoyed them. But I said, oh, Mama Quad, honey, is just as quiet. I said, girl, I see you, honey. I see you. Probably got a goddamn razor blade under your titty and one in your wig, honey. I see you, girl. Yes, honey. I laughed at that real good. But that was cool to see them because we don't see her, her family members very much. I would love to see the baby, to see, how big the baby's got. Y'all remember her nephew that was there? I would love to see how big he's gotten at this point. He was such a doll when he was on the show. We enjoyed him on his little season he was on, child. That's when their house was the happiest. Their house was really happy when that baby was around that house. That baby brought some real light in that house. But anyway, moving on. Yeah, that's in the past. So let's go to the party over there to Dr. Jarrett and Dr. Will's house. Right from the gate, they all get there. They starting up. Oh, well, I don't know if Quad's going to show up. This, that, and the other. She scratched her face as she showed up. Everybody looked real nice. Everybody looked cute. And Simone, I thought Simone's outfit was cute. Simone had this cute little top and shorts. I thought she looked cute. I really did. And Mariah, right in the confessional, steady reading her, talking about, yes, Simone, girl, I love it, honey. It's just wrong, and I just love it. What was wrong with it? I didn't see anything wrong with what Simone had on. It's actually one of her better looks that she's had the whole time they've been on there. I liked it, but that's just Mariah. You know, she throws shade just for the hell of throwing shade. But when Quan come in, first thing Toya says, everybody, did she say hello to everybody and all of that? Toya goes, all right, Quan. Wow. We just seen this is the second time we just seen you in like a month. Wow. And she was like, Toya, relax. And then the shift took place because I was sitting on the end of the chair. I said, so I guess this is where we start arguing in my comments because they took their ass, Simone, shady motherfucker, took your ass over there to the bar. Mariah slid her slithering ass over to the bar, and now y'all talking about her. Now y'all sitting around talking about her, and that's what y'all were doing. Y'all were talking about her and saying, you know, all the girl said was relax. And I know all the girl said was hi, and she just said relax. No, motherfucker. That was a dig. That was a dig. It was a dig, and y'all know it was a dig. Like, are you serious? It was a goddamn dig. And they just tried to act like, just gonna make it be what you want it to be. It was a dig. Period. And then, and Mariah, all that eye rolling and all that bullshit, and you're always up in the midst of the stir. I said, there you go. There you go. I said, she's getting started. Tonight's going to be the night she's going to fight for some camera time again. She did. Anyway, get back over there. Then Toya goes for Contessa. Dr. Jarrett and Mariah said, yeah, we went to see Contessa, this, and the other. And everybody's like all happy. They're like, we're so glad. We got text. She text messaged all of us and told us that everything went good. We're so happy. This, that, and the other. Boy, she's brave. Giving her kudos and all that. Not Toya. Hateful ass motherfucking Monchuchi sat her ass over there. Yeah, she texted me. But see, real friends call you beforehand so you could pray for them and all of that. And then after that, you might get a text. But before that, they're like, Toya, girl, no. And now nobody let her make it with the whole Contessa thing. But they didn't realize it was the same shit she did to Quad. She threw shit at Quad too. She threw dirt at Quad and Contessa. And I was like, and then Jackie made the most sense when Jackie got in her confessional and said, honey, y'all ain't even on speaking terms. You ought to be glad she texted you to fuck it all. Yeah, how about that? How about that? How about that? Now, and did y'all notice that Dr. Scott's with the shits? Because when Dr. Scott came in later on and Toya went there with her shady ass and said something about Contessa, how's Contessa? Y'all already covered that bitch. And you don't think that he know that his wife had actually already texted you? And he told her, my wife is at home doing important things like recovering, and she's there with family and friends. I said, oh, Dr. Scott's with shits. I just laughed. He ain't forgave her. I said, I see you. I see you too, Dr. Scott. You mean. I like it. Uh-huh. I don't think he cares for Toya, and he's not letting it go. I said, okay. Anyway, so one other thing I want to say about the Mariah and Toya thing. Toya, I'm waiting on the bottom to drop out, and you're not even really paying attention because Mariah's so down with you and all the bullshit that you be doing. Mariah be just boosting you and pushing you on and say, yeah, girl, yeah, and agreeing with that shit that you be doing. I'm watching. And then when you get attacked for it, Mariah don't say nothing. Did y'all notice that? Mariah's sitting around watching you digging the hole, Toya. And you so dumb you won't put the shovel down. She's going to flip on you, bitch. She's just watching. She's going to watch you do your descent to where ain't nobody fucking with you. And she's going to be laughing at you. Mark my words. Anyway, moving on. Moving on. Um, Simone, you're not going to be satisfied until Quad literally totally leaves you alone. Y'all aren't going to have a friendship at all, and then you're going to be sitting around crying. You're going to be screaming and hollering and crying. It's about you don't understand what happened, but you need to watch yourself in these episodes to try to fix it because you're acting like a real bitch. You really are. You're not acting very friendly at all. You're being very, very bitchy. You giving Quad and Cecil the blues when I really don't think that it's really all that necessary. Just ridiculous. Just absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, so everybody had left and went out onto the porch. You know, all of the castmates had gone on the porch, and Dr. Jarrett was out there with them as well. Um, and Dr. Jackie was inside talking to Quad, and she was showing some genuine concern about, she was still browbeating her a little bit about, sharing with the ladies and all that. And I'm just not for the ridicule and the bullshit, and I'm trying, Jackie, like, I'm here, I'm trying, but I ain't for the bullshit. And she said, I'm just worried because I don't see you smile anymore. And I love to see you smile, and I don't like when I don't see you smile. She's like, there's some void, and if you let us in, we can feel some of the time where you're alone and stuff and do that. And I'm like, yeah, Jackie, but come on, look around you. It's the darts are being thrown. The darts are being thrown. Y'all are saying out of one side of your mouth, let us in, let us in, let us in. And then as soon as she shows up, before anything even happened, you got bitches, well, two bitches, Simone and Toya, they steady slinging axes. A mess. And then this is when it got real fucked up. They go outside, and then the men is outside. The whole cast basically is outside with in addition, Dr. Jarrett. Ayden, how much fucking hooch did you drink? I could not believe what I was watching when Ayden jumped his ass in there and started asking Quad, where was Gregory? And then he wouldn't let it go. He wouldn't let it go to the point where then Mariah was saying, Mariah, at first it was cool. She's just laughing, leaving it there. And then you seen Quad wasn't feeling it. And Mariah was cool with that at first. And then everybody else's face was like, is this really happening? And then Mariah starts saying, okay, Ayden, stop. And couldn't stop him because I said, I thought he had done got drunk because he seemed like he had gotten a little drunk at that point. And we've seen in the past, Ayden don't hold her liquor very well. He get to drinking, he get to dancing and shit and embarrassing her child. I said, oh, Ayden, that shit that you did, that was ugly, it was bitchy, and it was messy. It was very, very messy. And coming from one of the men, it wasn't cute. Now, when Mariah and them do, they do shit like that to each other. But coming from Ayden, that was a bad, bad look. And it ain't just me, because whenever the men, they excused themselves and they all sat down there and they tore Ayden's ass up when they got back out there. And they was like, Ayden, like, really, for real? They chastised Ayden. So it wasn't just me. Wasn't just me. And Mariah was thoroughly embarrassed. She was thoroughly embarrassed at the fact that he wouldn't stop. He just wouldn't stop. I thought that was real. That was real bitch like. I was like, oh, Ayden, not a good look. Yeah, I don't know. You really be making a mockery of yourself sometimes. Anyway, but yeah. And then when Ayden did his little thing, and then Toya jumped on top of it, and I was like, oh yeah, Toya. Oh no, look, she still has her ring on and all that. They literally put her on like, okay, let us in so we can make a spectacle out of you. That's how it looked to me. So I'm sure that's how she felt. Let us in, let us in, let us in. And they literally sat there and made a spectacle out of the girl. And Toya was just turning the knife. I said, interesting, interesting. Said, okay, so she knows she's not gonna talk to y'all, right? Y'all gonna keep it up so she ain't gonna talk to y'all at all. It's gonna be over. And then after that, after they left, the men left, then Mariah jumped in, and that's what it was time for Mariah, Hurricane Mariah, to blow through because now she needed her camera time. It was a fight for camera time to the point where it was so evident that she kept shutting Quad down. She's like, I'm trying to talk. I'm trying to answer the questions that they have, but you get ready to try to infringe upon what I'm saying and make it be what you want me to say. And she's like, so you go ahead. Since you fighting for camera time, I said, oh, and you were. You were. You looked ridiculous. She wouldn't even let her talk. All that eye rolling, and it was a mess. I was like, I hope everybody else is seeing this. So when we get to arguing in these comments, we can argue real good. So, but y'all put y'all blinders on like y'all didn't see it. And James, you're just jumping on Mariah. Fuck Mariah. Mariah was being ridiculous, and she was fighting for camera time again, and she was looking ridiculous. This time, her and her fucking husband was looking ridiculous. Her husband looked like a bitch ass in there clowning, and she looked like a fool with no goddamn control over your goddamn drunk ass husband. Mess. Pure mess. And then out of nowhere, Heavenly saved the day. I said, well, dig that. Heavenly jumped in and switched the narrative because Mariah tried to bring, and did y'all catch this? That Mariah tried to do, she thought it was going to roll like it did at Heavenly's. Everybody was getting in their feelings, and she thought she was going to drag Heavenly in on it, and then Heavenly would start arguing like she did over in her house, but it didn't work on Heavenly this time, and Heavenly ended up changing the whole narrative. When Mariah was like, now, me and her don't never agree. Don't you think it was this, that, and the other, Heavenly? And Heavenly was like, well, no. And then got up in her confessional was like, she's a low down dirty bitch. I said, uh-huh. Heavenly didn't fall for the trick this time. And Heavenly went ahead and started talking about how the trip brought her and Simone closer together and this, that, thing, and the other. And then Simone started talking, and Simone was saying, Heavenly doesn't like it when I holler and stuff. And then Quad said to her, well, I don't like it either, sis. And then they start laughing, and it changed the whole narrative. And baby Mariah was pissed off. She was pissed off because she wanted that discord and that dissension amongst the women at that point because she was trying to get her camera time. But look at that. Look at how that works. Heavenly came through and changed the whole narrative. Hey, Heavenly. Girl, did you do your work like a Yana and some of that is working out, girl? All right. All right. I see you, girl. Couple of points for Heavenly. I'll give some credit where the credit is due. Heavenly shut that down. And it was a good thing because nobody want to be all up in somebody's brand new house in front of more doctors and stuff acting a fool all the damn time. So good, good job, Heavenly. And that was basically where it is. That's where I'm ending. I'm leaving this alone. We can go ahead and go on and get the fight started in the comments. I'm ready, y'all. Let's go, honey. Put your dukes up. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. Old messy ass Ayden and Mariah. Y'all ain't gonna be invited no motherfucking where. Y'all act like y'all ain't got no goddamn home train.